Study Guide 18. Number 1. If 4/5 of the 200 seeds sprouted, how many seeds did not sprout? Since we're looking for not sprouted, we're going to take 1/5 times 200 over 1. When we multiply this, we get 200 divided by 5. When you take 200 divided by 5, you get the answer of 40. Therefore, how many seeds did not sprout? 40. Question 2. The ratio of boys to girls in the class was 3:2. If there were 12 girls, how many boys were there? Before we begin to work this problem out, you need to fill out the ratio box. The ratio of boys to girls was 3:2, and the problem tells us that there were 12 actual girls. So we are looking for how many actual boys there are. Then we go over and set up a proportion. We take 3/2 equals b over 12. We then multiply 3 times 12 and then divide that answer by 2. 12 times 3 equals 36, and 36 divided by 2 is 18. Therefore, there are 18 actual boys. Question 3. What is the perimeter of the triangle? Remember, perimeter means you add up all the sides. So we're going to take 5 plus 4 plus 3 and add them all up, and we get the answer of 12 centimeters. Question 4. What is the area of the triangle? Remember, the formula for area of triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we're going to plug in our numbers from question 3. 4 is our base and 3 is our height. So we come back over and plug 4 times 3 into our formula divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12, and then we divide that by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Therefore, our answer is 6 centimeters cubed. Question 5. We're going to take 6 minus 4 3/10. Since 6 is a whole number, we put the decimal after the 6. When we set up our equation, we make sure that we line up the decimals. So we add 6.00, so all the numbers line up. Then we subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. Since we cannot take 3 away from 0, we need to borrow from the 6. We cross off the 6 and make it a 5. We then make our 0 a 10, and then we can subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7, and 5 minus 4 is 1. And we come up with the answer of 1 70/100. Question 6. 4 3/10 times 2/100. Remember, we underline all the numbers after the decimal. So since we have 3 underlines, remember we swoop 3 times when we get our answer. Now, we forget about the decimals and take 43 times 2. We get the answer of 86. Now again, since I underlined 3 numbers after the decimal, I go to my answer and swoop 3 times, and I get the answer of 86 thousandths. Question number 7. I take 45 hundredths divided by the square root of 36. First thing we have to do is figure out what the square root of 36 is. The square root of 36 is 6. Now we take 45 hundredths divided by 6. 6 cannot go into 0, so we add a 0. 6 cannot go into 4, so again we add a 0 above the 4. 6 can go into 45 7 times. 6 times 7 then is 42, and I subtract and get the difference of 3. I have to add a 0 here because I cannot have remainders when I'm dealing with decimals. I bring my 0 down, and it makes it 30. I know 6 can go into 30 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. When I subtract this, I get the difference of 0. That's when I know I am finished. So I get the answer of 75 thousandths. Question 8. I'm going to take 45 divided by 9/10. Remember, you cannot divide by a decimal, so you need to move the decimals in both numbers. We have to make 9 a whole number, so I move it once. Since I moved it once on the outside, I must move it once on the inside. Since there's an open swoop, I add a 0. Then I can divide. 9 goes into 45 5 times. I put the 5 above the 5. 5 times 9 is 45, and I subtract and get 0. I must bring down my last 0 to make it double zeros. 9 goes into 0 0 times, and 0 times 9 is 0. And I get the answer of 50. Question 9. Between which two numbers is the square root of 30? So I have to think of the square roots of each of my numbers and look to see where 30 falls between. So I can see that the square root of 30 falls between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36. Therefore, my answer would be C, 5 and 6. Question 10. I have to take 2/3 plus 5/6. Remember, with adding or subtracting fractions, you must have common denominators. For this problem, my common denominator is 6. So on the bottom, I have 5/6. That one just stays the same because 6 is already the denominator. On the top, I have to change the denominator to 6. I do this by taking 3 times 2, which is 6. Remember, whatever I do on the bottom, I must do on the top. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I can add them together. 4 plus 5 is 9, and I end up with 9/6. I know that I can reduce it and take 3 out. So I take 9 divided by 3 and get 3, and 6 divided by 3 and get 2. This is now an improper fraction, so I must make it into a mixed number. I take 3 divided by 2 to do this. 2 goes into 3 once. 1 times 2 is 2, and I subtract to get 1. Now my mixed number is 1 whole and 1/2, because my difference is my numerator and my outside number stays my denominator.